All right, we're here. Another day. Another day on Twitch. Yeah, we're live. We're on.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I didn't
Jim,
see
I
any.
like that hat. I like that hat. Jim.
He's like the fucking Undertaker,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's like fucking,
right?
like some kind of like rock and roll renegade kind of there with that hat. You know, it's like
I gotta go with my what did AJ call it? Quaker hats. When I jumped on with him, he was like, "I'm gonna match you. I'm gonna go get my hat." He put it on, and we were talking about like how we were complimentary, and he was like, two handsome men in Quaker hats. And I was like, "Yeah, man."
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Interruption!
I was gonna do the hold up, hey, but that was better.
Nice.
There's no time like today to take care of your hygiene.
Indeed.
And one of those things that can help you, if you're a man or a woman even, Manscaped. Manscaped can help you with their lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah.
Their lawnmower 4.0 has skin-safe technology. It's a ceramic blade. It's waterproof. It's got a nice little LED light, so this way you can see underneath all those crevices.
Shave your privates in the shower in the dark. Don't actually do that.
Don't do that.
But you could.
Yeah, you could with Manscaped.
Because you have a light.
Indeed. And for guys, listen, the perfect package 4.0 is like where it's at for you guys. Because it comes with not only the lawnmower, not only the weed whacker for your ear and nose holes.
Well, we got one. So bring it up real quick. What you also get, so yes, for one, you get the lawnmower 4.0, which is ceramic blades. It's not going to cut you. It's got a guard so you can, make sure that you got a trim in some spots. You got to the skin in other spots. You make sure that beanbag's shiny. We also have some...
Package that beanbag in...
underwear.
The underwear.
Yeah.
It's got the little ball pouch.
It does have the ball pouch.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great.
Separate. It's technology.
This right here...
I like
is
this.
for when you are shaving your balls.
Yeah.
It's little placemats, so this way...
It's like a newspaper.
Yeah, but then you just... You shave them, you crumple it up, you throw it away. No mess, no huss, no fuss.
Yeah.
Right?
It's also got some. It's got some funny articles in it.
It does. It does when you read
I recommend you definitely read it, but not while you're shaving your nuts.
No. There's the ball deodorant.
Yes, I use it every day. Crop preserver.
And the crop reviver.
I don't use it every day, but I have used it plenty of times.
It is pretty fantastic. You need that midday spritz.
Yep.
Just go for it. Freshens you up right away.
Who doesn't love a little spritz on the beanbag?
Exactly. And where do I keep it all? Well, right here. The shed, baby.
You know what? The shed is a pouch for the things to clean your pouch.
Exactly.
Right?
I use it personally for my toiletries when I travel.
You do? I've seen it.
I've got multiple. I've got a few of them.
Uh-huh.
So, go ahead, manscaped.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD.
You get 20% off this entire order plus free shipping. Not only can you get the Perfect Package 4.0, but you can sign up for their program where they will send you new stuff automatically.
New blades.
Every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. You decide what you need. If you need new blades every 3 months, they'll send you new blades every 3 months. If you want to check out maybe the crop mops.
I can't talk about the crop mops enough.
They're my favorite thing.
Yes.
Get those every month.
When you come and you hang out with us and we see you and stuff like that, we always have crop mops on our person. So
it's like
sure
a
you
business
ask
card,
us.
but for Manscaped and not us.
Yes. So go ahead, manscaped.com, promo code BACONPOD, 20% off, free shipping. Call it a day. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Never underestimate a good hat.
I am a hat guy. I have
Obviously,
so many.
I am.
I have so many hats these days. Hats and shoes, man. Those are my accessory du jour.
Yes, shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have so many shoes. It's ridiculous.
I'm not really a shoe guy. I just started kind of becoming a shoe guy where I have more than one pair of shoes. That's me, not me being a shoe guy.
Yeah, I have one of those like hang over the closet door thing with like 20 like spots for shoes, and I have that filled, and then I have boots and shoes that are by the door. Like,
I think I have like two pairs of sneakers and like fucking dress shoes, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, I let shoes like I use shoes like a car. I just like run it to the ground, and then when it smells too much to bring into the house, or if there's a hole somewhere in the and then it's like, all right, gotta get the shoes.
Oh, see, man, I got show shoes.
Oh yeah, see, that's
right. I gotta have show shoes that I only wear at shows, and then I have like the daily shoes, and depending on the weather, and then I have to have shoes that like when I go do the conferences with you, I have to have shoes that I can wear on a plane. I can also wear with shorts, but I can also wear to a dinner. Mm-hmm. So I have like sneakers that are leather that like look good in different situations, and then I gotta have boots for the winter.
I'm super excited because for a little while, like during the pandemic, the black on black Adidas shell tops were hard to find, and if you could find them, they were uber expensive in my size. Finally popped up again at a reasonable price, so I'm back in business.
I got my Adidas right now.
There you go.
Right now.
Hi.
So
my business skate shoes,
and I've got my slippers. I have a pair
of skating. I do
actually. So I'm not a shoe person. I am definitely a slipper person because I have house slippers, but then I also have house slippers where the toes are open, and then I also have a pair of studio slippers, and then I have a pair of waterproof outdoor slippers for when I walk around when I bring the kids to school.
You're a shoe guy.
So I'm a slipper guy. I'm a comfort guy.
Man. You are a
as long as you're wearing those open-toed ones with socks. That's how like dads do it, though, right? Isn't it? You got kids, so you know.
Well, you know what? I use it during the summer. In the winter, I'll wear the socks, but in the summer, I kind of let them fly.
I have house slippers, but they have fuzzy insoles.
Yeah.
So that they're just nice and warm for the winter, because I don't like wearing socks very much.
Oh, yeah. I've become a sock person for some reason.
In the summer, I have the thongs because I like my toes to.
In between?
Oh yeah, I like to. I like it to feel like a tight bathing suit.
I hate.
I've got very sharp opinions on this stuff. I don't know. It's like I'm of the mindset that men should never show feet in public.
Oh,
disgusting.
Okay. I won't wear them in public. I'll wear them on the beach or in.
That's the house. Okay. That's the exception. Beach stuff, fine. You wear flip flops or sandals or something. That's
right.
Get that. But like men who like are out in public with like, sandals and stuff or flip flops.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Maybe it's the polar opposite because I do have a thing. I like ladies' feet. I'm into that kind of thing. I'm an admirer, So maybe that's the exact opposite reaction. Just like there's some kind of correlation there.
Well, but like you're like one of those dudes like he is, where you guys will wear like shorts in the winter.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing shorts until I can't. Basically.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Agreed.
So I'm like, I like Bill Burr's bit on that, where he's like, he was on stage and there's a dude in the front row, and he's like, what are you wearing? Fucking shorts? he's like, he's like one of those guys that like, oh, my legs don't get cold. like that's something interesting to mate with.
Burr is fucking great.
He was like, yeah, thanks for dressing up for the show.
I have a 45-degree cutoff. 45 is the marker I've noticed.
Okay. All right.
Do 45 degrees and up, it's shorts time.
But
45's got to be pants. Though.
But if you're in the house,
shorts.
Shorts.
All the second I get home, if it's cold out, pants are off, shorts are on.
Oh yeah. In my house, it's shorts, cut off, and if it's cold, I've got the tiger print robe.
Yes. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
we're getting intimate here.
It's magical.
We're talking about
it is magical.
Talking about women's feet and tiger robes.
Yeah,
this is a sexy Twitch.
We're a few sensual guys.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting into unknown territory.
Socks and sandals.
But this is what happens during the pre-production process. These kind of conversations.
This is true.
Right?
This is true.
It's a way that you connect. You can't just walk in and just like cold be like, okay, produce my music.
Right. Yeah. Like, you need to have these.
Most of you can attest, more so Jim, because like Jim comes, like Mike, when you were here mostly with the other guys. But Jimmy would come, you come, and what do we do? Like an hour of bullshitting before we ever contemplate doing it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That wasn't by choice, by the way. I didn't ask them to come.
No, I get it. But you probably would have been suffering the same fate too, of where you just sit here and you have to listen to me rant about shit.
Oh no,
I like suffering the fate. How do you think our podcast started?
Right.
Let's make some music. Let's bullshit for 2 hours first.
It was meant to be music making.
We should at least make this worthwhile. Let's film it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's try and get a return on this investment.
Right. And then they're like, "Oh, people actually care what we say." Okay, good.
That's still up for debate.
Yeah, that's. Let's slow down on that.
Yeah.
So
usually we have Twitch open. I don't even see. We don't have Twitch open right now. So.
Oh yeah, I don't know
if everybody's.
We have
anybody's even watching.
G was here.
Oh, okay. I see one. All right.
Yeah, I'm so discombobulated from being off.
We're blindly on Twitch right now.
Yeah, so you know what? Let's just. Oh,
that's all right.
You know what? Let's just let it fly. Let's just let it fly this time. Right. We're gonna do our third passes on the 3 songs that we had third passes for.
Yes.
And at the very end, we'll just play the other songs.
So we have adjustments to 3 of them. Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have.
Where are my notes? See, I'm so fucking. I'm a mess, Dave.
Yeah, you were all over the place today.
I am a mess.
Dude, you've been home for a week. What's going on?
I haven't been home for a week. I've been at fucking Disney.
Yeah, but you've been home since, Sunday?
You took the kids to Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been home since Saturday. Come on, man.
Took a train home, too. Yeah.
What was that about?
It was either
about 22 hours.
Well, yeah. Yeah, besides the 22 hours, it was also it was $370 to get us 4 home, as opposed to $1,500.
There it is.
Train it is.
A man after my own heart.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to drive.
And I didn't have to drive. I could just sit back and watch some Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
And listen to some stuff. Yeah, it was good.
Good. I like it.
But so we had some things and stuff.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, so I don't even know where we are at this point.
And so I think. Okay, so what did we do here? You've got the.
No, you know what? Because you were on the notes. I have the notes up to the second pass.
Oh, cool. All right. Well,
I don't know what we did.
I'll find them here. We're gonna start the first one.
Sure.
And I'll find my notes somewhere in this pile.
Find your notes.
Okay. So we're going to start with how do we move on?
Good.
All right. You'll hear differences.
I continue to chase this impossible dream. I knew that one day I'd face it. It was harder than it seems. There's a realization, an unbearable truth. The humiliation, disappointment inside you.
Know that it pains me to say this. There's nothing that's left inside. And everything that we built is burning. It's burning soon. How can we go on knowing what we could be? How can we move on knowing what we should be? And where has it all gone? Where did we go wrong?
I wish I could change this loss of desire. There is no motivation, no stars in our eyes. The risks that we've taken the damage we've made to rescue is futile, and we know who's to blame.
So now in ruins I leave this, from all of this hurt and the rage, and everything that we built is burning, burning down. How can we go on, knowing what we could have been? How can we move on, knowing what we should have been? And where has it all gone? Where did we go How could we go on, knowing what we could have been? How do we move on, knowing what we should have been? Where has it all gone? And where did we go wrong? How do we move
All right.
Dynamite.
So, one thing that we did do. So, what you had asked for us to do is the stop in the second, going into the second chorus.
Yeah.
We tried. Had to be like 3 or 4 different things. We tried putting it back to where it was playing straight through like it originally did.
Yep, we did it the same as the first one.
We did the same as the first one. Whatever.
We did different drums.
Yep. What we ended up with is actually adding a hit to like after it stopped, adding a hit,
Yeah.
and then leading into the chorus, doing a quick like a fill.
Yeah. Well, whatever I just heard, I'm sold on all of it now.
Oh,
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. Like that all worked. That sounded fucking cohesive, all of it to me, you know?
Nice, good.
It just went right in. Yeah, it's like I was looking for something that I really couldn't like pinpoint exactly. That's why I was like, try this, try that. You know,
Yeah.
it ain't right. Now it's right. Now it's like, now I don't feel like, okay, there's any bit of awkwardness going into that chorus anymore.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Awesome.
And each one's a little bit different from the next one, you know?
Yes.
So that I like too.
Yeah, we were kind of going back and forth with the is doing 3 types of stops, is that like
Is that too much?
or is that going to the well too many times? And it's like, man, it seems to sound good.
Just
and
given the way the whole thing unfolds, like how the part is, it needs some sort of shtick there going in. It just does.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's one of those things. But I think you hit on something this time where each one's a little bit unique in its own right, but it's tight and it's cohesive sounding. I think that's where it sounded just like it didn't have its bearings yet, and now it does. You know?
yeah, cool,
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Nice.
sweet. One down.
No reservations about that now.
Awesome.
whatsoever. You know?
Yes.
Hoo-ha!
All right. I don't
nailed
remember what we got. Okay, so Love the Way You Suffer. Yes. This was the flange guitar broken last chorus.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a very, very simple, easy thing, but it did make a lot of difference when we did it.
Yeah.
And I was pretty stoked on it.
Cool.
So,
Yeah. I agree too.
all right, so let me
Let's
get
have
to...
it.
From what I remember.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. All right.
I'm not the same, I'm nervous, face enough made to keep myself from looking in the mirror. Could have changed, but it's too late. So if we pull the shades and stop the pain, it's only getting dearer.
So open your eyes when you say it's like a downpour, the way your hate tore through all my faith because I love the way you suffer. We only want more, it's what we came for. So hold me down, the way you suffer. When I am your addiction, it hurt me, I just pain. Push through and realize what you've taken away from me.
It takes the same away like playing games. The ways you hide your ways, so I can see the ties you break.
So open your eyes when you say it's like a downpour, the way your hate tore through all my faith because I love the way you suffer. Want more, it's what we came for. So hold me down because I love the way you suffer. This time I stay true to myself. Infection cause it's over. It's over now. Can't right the wrong. So now this conversation's over. It's over now. So open your eyes when you say it's like a downpour, the way your hate tore through all my faith because I love the way you suffer. We only want more, it's what we came for. So hold me down because I love the way you suffer. It's like a downpour, the way your hate tore through all my faith because I love the way you suffer. We only want more, it's what we came for. So hold me down because I love the way you suffer. No, this conversation's over. It's over now.
So,
Very cool. I like it.
I mean, the sounds.
The effect itself might be a little wild, for now. Like,
Yeah.
maybe, like kind of dial in something cooler for the real deal, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah.
But the
I
idea
mean,
is solid.
it's a placeholder. It's
Sure.
an idea for sure.
But I like that though. You okay with it being that long? I'm okay with it. It's like I maybe was anticipating it to get back a little quicker, but I'm fine with that though. Actually, it's like I just like if you like that, I'm cool with it. I was just wondering. Okay, like it's like do we need to get back quicker or not? It's just a question. I'm cool with it being like this. Though.
Maybe it's definitely something worth messing with when we start like either playing with people.
Possibility.
You know what I mean? Like
leave that door open. I'm okay with it like this. Though, honestly, I am.
Yeah.
If you're vibing, like you said, once you get players involved and it's vibing and that works, great. But if you want to shorten that up, it could be like get back in quicker. I guess maybe.
Yeah, there's definitely things that I know that when we're playing it. And if we're actually like playing it live, there's going to be moments where either of us are probably going to be like, no, let's do this now. Or let's
That's how I want those decisions
hold off,
to be made.
Sure.
I think those decisions need to be made like that because you want to like respond emotionally like that in context with other people. Go, oh wait, this rocks. Oh wait, we shouldn't do it like this. It should be like this.
Yeah, it might be worth. I mean, any players that we're going to use that are from around here, it might be worth getting in the room and jamming them like a song for a while before we try to.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Instead of giving it to somebody and be like, put a track
Here's what
down,
you do. Yeah.
I would love that. That's my preference, Jim. What you just said right there is to actually even if it's like a couple of times only, just to stimulate band. You know?
Yeah.
and not just have it be workshop studio thing, which look, everybody's doing that now, and that's fine. A lot of records, great records, get made in this manner. It's not about that, but there's something to that. This music deserves that band thing.
Yeah, there's definitely I always like the feel of being in the room and vibing off it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We're coming at it in a different way rather than starting from zero in a room and trying to vibe off it.
Right.
We're saying, look, here's this whole thing.
Here's the thing.
If we play it like this, it'll work.
Yeah.
Let's jam and see what it feels like.
Yeah.
From here. You know?
That's my preference for how you should go about it.
Yeah.
Not to say that we can't do great things otherwise, but that would be a real game changer.
Right. I had that in my mind already, like, for whenever it was possible. Because again, we don't know who's going to play on these.
Yeah.
Right. If it's somebody from out of state or something, obviously that's not
right.
easy.
We're not going to be able to kind of do that. But
if it does wind up being somebody you can get into a room with and play, yes. You know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, personally, I think, like, what we could do is... we'll talk about it, but I honestly think for the most part, right? Maybe we make different concessions and stuff like that. I feel like to jam it in a room, all we really need is a drummer.
Yeah. Yeah, to get a vibe, that's all we need to do.
All we really need is a drummer, and we could play through songs, and we could switch off bass or two guitars or whatever it may be, but that'll give it enough where it's like, okay, we can feel the vibe of this. We can see what happens.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, too. And I'm sure if we wanted to do two guitars and a bass, we could do that, too. We definitely know enough people to be like, hey, come in, we're just jamming on this.
Yeah.
You know, you may or may not be on it.
Right.
Just come in and... So yeah, I think that's worth doing. I mean, hell, even if we're in a room with the track and we're playing and singing, we might get some of that vibe. But I think once we get a drummer's going to be a big thing.
I think I think just the drummer is kind of going to give it more of that live vibe kind of thing, and we can easily do that for sure.
I mean, even though like you guys have both been through this experience with me before, where I encourage everybody to like kind of be there and play along when we're doing the drum tracks, even though they're going to be heavily edited and messed with and all that kind of stuff. But you're still laying a foundation with the energy, though. Yeah. It's like you can't replicate that later. It's like the drummer's going to respond to like you guys, like you can eyeball each other and, you're performing together, even though we're going to redo the guitars and the bass and
there's still going to be a feel.
Yes. You're setting a tone right out of the gate by all playing together. I think it's necessary. I mean, even though there's 1,000 ways to do it now, just here, you play this and send it back to me and then we'll put something down. That's viable too. But for rock and roll groups and hard rock and metal groups, being in the room, there's still nothing like that.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Razor was the big one. Razor had a lot of notes for the second pass, and I think we did a lot of them. The one thing that we were kind of unanimous with was like in the beginning, you had mentioned to just do the guitar only.
Yeah.
We tried it. It did not work.
It was yeah.
But no. Like it's like I could see why. I could see why the idea was there, and even going into it, I was like, cool, this is gonna work. And then once we heard it, it was like, man, it's just there's just something about it that's not clicking.
But what we ended up doing was pulling back like a lot of the drums.
Yeah.
And just kind of doing like a kick snare,
super simple,
just to at least to give it some sort of urgency.
Yeah, because that's what it was missing. It was missing
the riff,
established groove.
Yeah, the riff wasn't really urgent enough.
It's not as cool as the riff is. It's not cool enough to be by itself.
Look, this stuff happens all the time. I mean, literally, this just happened to me last week. I was on the phone with my client, my buddy Sammy from Seattle, and we're discussing tracking his next song. And I, in my mind, had how it should go at the end. It was going to have a retard at the end, right? Mm-hmm. But in his initial demo of it, it was too stretched out and too dramatic. I wanted it. So I sang it to him over the phone the way I wanted to hear it, start to slow down at like the halfway point of the last measure kind of thing. So I kind of even like kind of mimed it out to him over the phone, like showing him how to do it. But then when he actually did it and sent me back another demo of it, he was like, I don't know if I'm sold on the ending. And I heard it, and it just wasn't right, even though it was exactly how I told him to do it. I'm like,
right.
You know, and I'm like, nope, you got to start at the top of the measure now. You know,
right.
You just, but like sometimes in your mind's eye, you hear something and then you put it into play. Nope, just not happening.
Yeah, exactly. This was definitely one of those where it was like, oh, that's a good idea, that's going to work, and then it. Honestly, I think it's just that the riff isn't as strong as you think it is.
Yeah.
It needs it. Not in a bad way, but just that it needs padding. It needs something underneath.
It's almost like if Brain Stew wasn't as catchy of a riff. Right. Like Brain Stew's got that fun, catchy riff. This is not fun nor catchy. So it needs a little bit more help.
Yeah.
So we'll take a listen.
We shouldn't have said anything. We should just let him hear it raw and then just.
It's all done now.
Yeah, it's done now. Quick reminder that this show is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, Mythical Beards. Check them out, mythicalbeards.com. You can get stickers, you can get hoodies, you can get all that kind of stuff, but most importantly, you can get shit for your face.
Keep your beard fresh, keep it clean, keep it groomed. If it's good enough for Mick Foley, God damn it, it's good enough for us.
I'm wearing the Kraken right now.
I am actually wearing the Dracula.
Nice.
And that's why I smell like an old-time barbershop.
If you go to mythicalbeards.com and use the promo code
BACON15,
you get 15% off your entire order. The show is also brought to you by our good friends at GrillYourAssOff.com, where you can also get 15% off of your order of all spices, grilling rubs.
They're delicious freaking sauces.
Yes, delicious sauces, all that kind of stuff. Every season is grilling season if you like to cook.
Yes.
So definitely check it out. GrillYourAssOff.com. Use the promo code
BACON because it'll keep your grilling season all year fucking long.
15% off with the promo code. 10% off at drinkwildbills.com, where you can get all kinds of great sodas, which we've seen lots of mixers for. So keep sending them in. Hashtag drinkwildbills. Hashtag what's your bacon. Send us your beverage options
Of choice.
and also poddex.com. You can see them in another part of the show.
Yes, indeed.
But both of those, 10% off, use the promo code BACON. So
Yes.
check it out. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you got. Use them. Find them. If you can't remember what we just said, go to baconismypodcast.com. Everything's there. Check it out. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough of it. They don't add up one bit. It all seems normal.
All right, so I'm not sold on the beginning now.
I think taking out the guitars when the verse starts up.
Okay, before we say anything, what do you think?
Okay. I actually thought the intro was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it with that kick in there, actually. I would think maybe start the kick slightly later than, like maybe do one pass and it go ba-na, 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 boom, 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 like, or something like that, But like in general, I like that whole thought process there. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, I don't know where you were going, Mike, with that, but I don't like the way the first verse unfolds, though.
That's what I was just saying.
No. I don't like
that either.
I like
everything kind of dropping
verse.
out.
I love how that.
Yes.
I think that should be like that at the top, and we'll worry about making the second verse different with something else.
Right. Yeah. Right. I agree.
Instead of making the first verse less, make the second verse more.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's as soon as it came in.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
When everything dropped out and was just bass, I was kind of like, oh, yes. We did that?
Yeah, I forgot we did that too, and I was like, that? Oh.
And then we just did the hits. And then when the hits came in, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
It's like overthinking, kind of.
It should have.
Yeah, and it sounds like it. It sounds like this was overdone.
Because the whole point of introing with those chords was to set that fucking up, basically.
Yes.
And then once it's in, it's there,
Right.
Like it doesn't disappear on you, And I'm like, ooh, when that happened, I'm like, no, like that's. Yeah. It's like, but the intro, for the most part, I kind of dug it. Though.
No, I like the intro.
No, I like the intro. I just
still
don't
like the intro.
Taking the guitar away when the verse really starts up.
That's the part that wasn't happening.
That was awful. I'm sorry. That was probably me. I think that was me.
It was.
Pretty sure that was me.
He had me try all sorts of weird shit, Dave.
But everything
even
in the second verse sounded really right, though. And even when the bass starts trucking along and the guitars are with it, like all of that was really exciting. And that should probably be there right out of the gate, like that.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll worry about how do we raise the second verse, throw another guitar or another little thing in there to make it fun,
Yeah.
Give it some differentiation from the first one. But man, that's the flavor, though, right out of the gate should be the way the second verse is,
And Jimmy was actually just saying now, like, adding, like, almost like semi, like, aggressive, almost screeching violins at some point.
Like distorted violins.
Yeah.
Over that bridge, just going. Like a whistling firework.
Oh, you know who we call for that fucking thing? There's this great violinist out there who does that rock and roll style violin, Susan Aquila.
Cool.
You know her?
Okay.
You know who she is?
I don't.
She's plays for a living. She's a violinist. That's what she does. She played with
nice.
She played with Bocelli over at UBS when he was at UBS in the Garden. She was part of the local orchestra that backed them up, basically. So she gets those kind of gigs all the time. But she does it as part of her rock shtick too. She sings rock and roll shit, and she does the violin rock style, basically. So if we want to do that, we could probably reach out to her because I know her pretty well. I cut a couple of vocals for her. She's great fucking musician. She's a doll to work with. So if we're thinking that, I got it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be sweet.
In.
Yeah.
Definitely in, for sure. Sweet. So those were the three. And I think we're all in agreement when it comes to, like...
Yeah, it sounds like we're all on the same page on all of them.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
I think that's where we're at.
I love the transitions to the choruses now are dope. That big fill going in the first fucking fantastic like that. And
nice.
And the stop, nice. It all... Like, now I feel like here's the fucking chorus,
Yeah.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that was the point.
Yeah, that stop. When that came up to, I was like, "Oh yes, I do still really like that." I'm glad that's there because I was in a bad mood for a second.
And everything else sounded great, though. I think like the breakdown of the chorus afterwards, like it's a unique thing going on there with how it's unfolding there. It's not just typical, okay, we're backing off the chorus and giving you the quiet chorus. It's a different kind of flavor rather than just doing the same thing,
Cool.
Yeah. But it achieves the same purpose, though. Like, backing away from it so it blows up on you again,
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
For sure.
That sounds great.
Nice. So we've got our songs. I think we need to get doing to other work now.
I was gonna say, what do we do now?
What do we do now? What we have to do
what do
is
we can do in this format?
We need to find a drummer.
Okay.
That's first and foremost. Yeah, find somebody who can pound those skins.
Yeah.
Get them to learn the songs, and then we get into a room and jam, and do that kind of stuff. I think next week what we should do is make Razor final. Just pop the original guitar parts back in, and maybe start talking about players and start thinking about who we can kick some of this stuff to. I mean, we have some local players that we know we want to ask to do like the show,
right?
But I think thinking about who else we want to play on it, I think would be a good place to go. Dave, your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's the next stage of it now that we're kind of coming to the conclusion about what the arrangements are and everything, you know? Who are the players going to be, you know? Drummer, obviously, being the foundational piece, so that's first kind of finding out who that's going to be.
Right, like for the recordings too, do we use one drummer or do we use a couple different ones? I feel like the songs are in the same wheelhouse enough to where if we find someone that's going to be great for one of them, they're going to be great for all of them.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a situation where it's like, this song really has this kind of flavor and we need to get someone that's good at this and things like that.
Do you think, like, I mean, just a thought, it's like, maybe try and like stay away from the guys you normally play with in your bands, you know?
Right.
Like, I know, I'm talking about Chris Waterbury for you, Jimmy, and I know that guy AJ, right, for you.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah.
Maybe like obviously not because they're of a talent thing, because obviously they're great, but like, but just to like have a different,
thing,
you know?
Yeah.
It'll be its own thing.
Right. Yeah, that's
rather than relying on guys we know can get the job done. But it's like, oh, is this like half a super group now? What is this? You know,
right.
To give it its own like personality and its own thing, you know.
Yeah. I think that's a good point because I mean, if we get as awesome as AJ and Chris both are, if we get either of them, the fact that it's like our voices and our style, especially AJ, because these songs are a little more heavy,
right?
It's going to sound like something heavy,
right?
You know, and then to a lesser extent, Chris, it's going to have kind of a similar thing, I think.
Right, like it's like maybe like I'm just like, this isn't a suggestion. I'm just like say if you reached out to like Nadal from Revel 9, that would be different. Like you guys playing with him per se. I'm not saying that should be it. I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah,
you know? like at least that combination hasn't happened yet. You know?
Yeah, I mean, my actual like first thought was Jeff, but I know he's busy. I know he's got a lot of things on his plate.
Right.
So
he'd be fun to play with, just to play with.
Yeah. Like playing with Jeff made me want to be a better player. Like him and Ryan, and I don't know if I've gone on record saying it on here, but I know I've said it to you a number of times.
Yeah.
Him and Ryan, like.
This is the rhythm section of Last Turn Off Broadway. All of you.
They made me, because they've been playing together since they were like 15. They're both classically trained musicians. They both went to Berkeley. They like the whole nine. And then like me being in a room with them, it only happened a few times, but it was just the three of us a few times. And to me, I was like, holy shit, I am learning and I need to be better. So that's one of my thoughts.
Let me say this about like working with you guys on that project. Fucking like they're both so fucking good. I mean, and I'm gonna like say about Ryan specifically is the actual bass he used, his level of talent, how he played, and how we got the sound of that. It fits so perfectly in the mix. It's like I built a chain for him like based off what he was doing. It was so fucking easy to get that bass to fucking sit right, you know. And that's like goes to like what I always tell people, and everybody like I wonder if everybody thinks it's bullshit and lip service. That no, if you got the right player and the right fucking axe and everything, you're done. You know, it's like right there at the right part. It's like I don't have to do shit except a little bit of sweetening and stuff because that is how much that means basically. And he was a perfect example of that, Ryan. Like where it's like, holy shit, for once I'm not fighting the bass. you know. That's no knock on anybody else. That's just he's that good, you know.
Right? Yeah.
Well, it is, and I'm not saying he's not that good, but he is that good. But it's also knowing your place.
Yeah,
like he knows where he belongs. I mean, the fact that he's a classically trained musician and he knows about frequencies and all that kind of stuff. He already he knows where he's got to dial his stuff into.
Right.
He's like, okay, well, this is where I'm not going to hurt this person, but I'm going to kind of peek out over here so people can hear it. So from that respect, he knows his place in a lot of ways. So
choosing his parts and dialing in his tone.
All that stuff.
Exactly. Like knowing the complete picture. That's huge, you know?
Yeah.
Not going against the grain, knowing what it needs. Exactly. You know?
We use tones based off of stuff he sent Monty.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
for all of our stuff, really.
Yeah.
And honestly, the chain that I developed for him on Last Turn Off Broadway, that the bass chain, I still use it on every bass player to this day. That's where I start, and then I start making adjustments from there because it can't be the exact same thing. So we talk about different players, different axes, all that, different parts, arrangements. But I always start there because I'm like, God damn, that was legendary. That tone, that idea, all of it. I was like, but it doesn't sound the same on everybody. Just like a suit don't fit somebody the same. If
of course,
it's but I start there because I know that fucking worked like a charm, If I start there and then just build from there, great.
Now, out of curiosity, is that a DI chain or is that a chain that you put on his amp?
I'm talking about the mixing phase of it where I'm kind of, I believe his chain was the amp with 2 mics on it and 2 DIs. There was the direct out of his head and the DI clean too.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a 4-channel thing going on. So it was the 2 mics, the 2 directs, the colored and uncolored, and then I kind of sent them all to one bus, and that's the chain I'm talking about where I build from there.
Yeah.
Like the final stage of it.
Because the other part that makes this whole story legendary is after Dave had specifically reached out to him to compliment him on how fucking awesome his rig sounds. And we all said, dude, your bass sounds amazing and terrific and it's so good.
I know where it's going.
He sold the bass and sold the head.
Was he hanging out with Frank?
Right? Well, no, Frank sells it mid-recording. So.
Well, that's unique, right? Yeah.
And you know what? He still, he's still, his stuff still sounds great, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you just recorded something that literally is head and shoulders above any sound that I've normally heard on a record.
Right.
And you went and you just sold all that gear. You sold it all away.
But here's the thing with Ryan, though. He could play on a shit amp and a shit bass and still sound great.
Yeah.
It's the player, not the gear.
It really is.
It
really is. It just was a great, kind of...
The gear makes it easier.
Everything came together.
Yeah.
It was player, first and foremost, player, axe, rig, perfect fucking storm, basically.
Yeah. The player can make any rig and any instrument sound like them with varying degrees of effort. If you have the player and the gear together, there's no effort, and it's just
right. It's easy peasy. But speaking to that whole thing, that first scene in It Might Get Loud with Jack White shows him building that one string thing
on the block of wood,
plywood, and you're like, what's he fucking doing? You're watching, and then all of a sudden it plugs into this little pig nose or shitbird amp, and he just rips on it with that slide.
Have you seen
that? No.
God.
Dude, you've got to see it. You have to see it.
Okay.
And that's what I said to myself. I was like, this guy definitely deserves to be in the room with the Edge and Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking, look what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He just blew it out.
It's amazing.
It's fucking great. It's amazing.
Yeah. He's one of those people that it took a while for him for people to realize the credit that he deserves.
Right. But that was my watershed moment with him where I was like, holy shit, this guy really is a legend, isn't he?
That was one of those documentaries that one of those things that I either watch or I listen to that fundamentally changes how I approach certain things.
Yeah.
That was
the point of the whole thing, I think. Yeah. Was the best part to me, other than that beginning right there, is when Jimmy starts playing Ramble On and the look on both Edge and Jack's face. Like the camera pans them, they're like, they both have that, oh my God, Jimmy Page is playing Ramble On right in front of me right now, showing me how he did it, you know? And they were both like kids on Christmas fucking morning.
Yeah.
You know?
I love getting swept into that because, to be completely honest, those are 3 guitar players that I didn't really and don't really like. They're not in my list of people that I listen to a lot or
that you
really kind of like
try to replicate.
I know for a fact how important and how great each one is, but they're just not the ones that I kind of like look at or looked up to or any of that. So going in and seeing that and being like, okay, it's 3 guys that I'm not super interested in, but I am interested in their mindset for songwriting and playing and stuff because they're all so different from each other. And then getting swept into it and being like, oh, wow, this is changing my way of thinking on stuff, even though I don't use or do anything that any of them do. And now I'm approaching my stuff different because of it. It's really good. It's a really good.
And me being such a big fan of both Jimmy Page and The Edge, you know, I was clearly like all about Jack White after watching it, like going like, fuck, he really belongs with these guys. It's like, son of a bitch, he's that guy. And now, like when I hear his solo work, I mean, he was just on SNL a couple of months ago, and he just, I mean, he
so
just
good.
keeps coming up with great shit.
He's so good, man.
What the fuck? It's like,
I remember it was like it might have been a year ago. He was getting a bunch of shit online because there was footage of him on stage playing one of the Eddie Van Halen guitars.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't like his airline guitar or some old ass instrument or anything like that. And they asked him about it in an interview, and he was like, yeah, but I mean, like, it's so easy to play. He was like, why do I want to fight everything all the time?
And didn't like,
why am I the guy that's not allowed to play?
Yeah.
Why do I need to play a 50-year-old guitar that's in shit condition?
Well, just because I did something once means I got to do it all the time? Like, what?
Right, just because like his MO is like using shit gear usually, you know?
Right, and like, he was like, man, I just didn't feel like fighting it, like for this night.
Him and his band, the current band he has right now, it's like when you watch him, and this is what like I'm trying to tell people all the time. It's like that's what we're talking about in an age where we can kind of create anything, make magic with all the technology. It still means something when a bunch of fucking killer players get together and play together and have chemistry and lay it all out there on the floor. Jack still does that, even though he lives in the modern world perfectly with everybody and he's making contemporary good rock music. But it's still done in a way that most people aren't doing it, where they're just still like cutting yourself open and bleeding all over the stage.
His flavors all over it. I love that he took 2 completely different bands out on tour to do the same sets. He just had one band that was all dudes and one band that was all girls. And he would decide randomly which night which band was playing.
Really?
And he would be like, yeah, it gives it a different vibe, different feel.
That's interesting.
Everything's played a little different. And he like took literally like there were 2 buses, 2 different bands.
And he would make the call that night?
And he would like make the call like that day or that night.
That's like next level fucking.
Yeah, he'd be like, I want you guys tonight. This is what I'm feeling. And he was like, it's a different vibe on stage. It's a different whole aura to the show. It's a different thing. Even if you're playing the same songs, everybody's playing it a little bit different. Oh, yeah. Like, how in the moment can you be if you're just wild. Like, I'm going to do different musicians tonight.
I'm feeling the A team tonight. I'm feeling the B team. Did he ever cross them? Like, I'm taking you and you and then you and you.
I don't know. I don't know if he ever did that. I saw like a couple different things about it that he was doing that, and I was like, holy shit, that's really weird.
It's wild.
And cool. I can't even imagine that. One, I can't imagine, like, it's not even like, he's extremely successful, but he's not still making White Stripes money. You know, like
nobody's making that money anymore.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. So he's paying 2 different sets of music, and it's not a 4-piece band,
right? Oh he's got a keyboard.
Like he's got a couple keys, guitar players. He's got guitar players. He's got like percussion. He's got people, and you're talking different sounding backup vocals. You're talking different, like, everything.
This is what you do when you're at that level, though. Like, where do you go from here to make it creatively interesting for yourself and stuff? You know,
right? Yeah, like
Prince was doing that too. The last couple of years, Prince was like, before he passed away, he had a group called Third Eye Girl.
Yeah,
and I got to see them at City Winery one night.
Oh,
it's like it was a surprise show from Prince, and my ex-wife was huge into the City Winery thing, so she was on their email list. Meanwhile, she was getting ready to go to bed. I was getting ready to come back down here to work in the studio, and she gets an email at 11 o'clock at night. Prince tonight, 2 a.m. City Winery. So we jumped in the car, and I never drove so fast into Manhattan.
How do you not?
He didn't come out on stage till about 3, but he played because New Power Generation had a residency that week. So everybody was wondering, is he going to come? Is he going to show up and everything? And he did. But he also brought Third Eye Girl with him, too, the three girls in the band. So they took over for a couple of songs. They just grabbed the gear that whatever New Power Generation were playing on. They jumped up. And this drummer, she was like one of the best drummers I've ever fucking heard. Nice. And the guitar player and bass player were great, too. But this is what Prince was doing.
Well, dude,
I'm going to get with all these girls.
If you're going to play with Prince,
shit. They had just flown in from Portugal that night too. They were on tour in Europe. They flown in a couple hours later. They play in City Winery. It's like, we'll go play a gig. Fuck it.
Well, again, Prince.
This is what legends do, though. Fucking crazy fucks. Right?
Yeah.
Because they can.
Yes.
Just because they fucking can.
And because how, like, every time you have a thought of, like, how awesome would it be if, like, they can do that and go, okay.
They can make it happen.
Let's do it.
They have the means to make it happen.
So, like, someone was like, how awesome would it be if you, like, were able to go on tour with 2 separate bands? He was like, that would be awesome.
Hey, can Motley Crue borrow
I'm going to do it.
What a mess.
I'm sorry.
What a mess that is.
I just want to. I mean, and John
barely
Five's
have the band they have.
John Five's great, by the way. I mean, I'm happy he got the gig. But the fact that, like, now Mick Mars is suing them, Vince Neil can't carry a tune in a fucking bucket at this point. I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Didn't you retire a few years ago? What is this?
I love how Mick Mars is kind of telling everybody, like, I don't know what you guys think, but Nikki Sixx isn't a good bass player. It's like, say that like nobody knows.
We know.
This is like, we get this. We've known this for years.
In fact, I always say, up until a couple of years ago when I started getting a little bit better at playing bass on certain people's records, I mean, like, just because nobody usually has bass, so I'm like, all right, I'll put it down. And it's like, I'm actually starting to understand. I'm not just playing Nikki Sixx bass anymore. That's what I would say. It's like, I'm actually playing bass now, not Nikki Sixx bass, which is interpretation, a guitar player just playing bass. It's following the route,
Hey, we got a
hey from St. Louis Cardinals.
Cool.
Hey!
That looks like a whiskey there, too.
It does look like a whiskey.
Wow.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
You know what? I think we should do right about now, Jimmy? I think we should introduce some of the instruments that will be on this record because we are obligated to do so, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go grab them.
Yeah, go for it.
You tell the story.
All right. So here's kind of a cool story. I was introduced to and became friends with people from Michael Kelly Guitars a couple of years ago, and Steve Paisani, who people in Long Island are going to know from both working at Sam Ash and getting guitars for major artists for years. So, this is the dude that, like, Ace Frehley would call and say, like, I need this, and he'd be like, I'll get it for you. Like, this was that guy.
The guitar headhunter.
The guitar headhunter du jour. Great guitar player. Plays in, I think he's only in one band now. We're going to have him on. We're going to have him on and do an interview with him and talk to him about the guitars and all that stuff. But he is now basically running Michael Kelly Guitars. So I worked with him a few years ago when I did the Jimmy's Blue Notebook record with grabbing a guitar to play on stage when I was going and doing shows based on that. The Jimmy's Blue Notebook record that I did with Mr. David Caggiano.
Of course!
Which was a solo acoustic record that I did. God, 6 years ago now, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Holy crap.
Actually, yeah. This could be 7 years ago even.
Yeah, crazy. So we've just kind of been in contact since then. Our bands have played together. Our good buddy Mark Weiss has kind of, he's helped out. He was managing Craving Strange for a while. And then him and I still work together, and we're working on stuff for the podcast and all this. So we reached out to him because Mike already had this bass, this Michael Kelly bass.
This fine instrument right here. Actually, most of the Something Heavy stuff I actually recorded on this. It's a 5-string. What's cool about it is it actually switches active and passive.
Yeah.
But yeah, great sounding instrument. I really, really loved it. I went in going for a Fender Jazz bass and ended up with that.
I love the finish on it too. That's crazy.
Yeah. They had one in red. I was gonna get the red one, and then out of the corner of my eye, I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh, it's the same one. Ooh, it's yellow.
That's a cool finish.
It's different. It's super different.
Yeah, I want to like just because like we got to get it up like close.
Yeah,
to
that's like neat. That's really
camera.
neat.
Like,
it's unique.
It's
That's
really,
why I was
Looks
like,
like a coffee table.
yeah, right.
yeah,
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right? One piece,
Wow.
really nice,
Really pretty.
maple neck, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that will probably make its way on this recording at some point. I know we wanted to reach out to some bass players, but we might be doing some stuff in house,
Or making them play it.
What?
Or making them play
Or make them play it
Letting
if they're
them play
local.
it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's nice. So we got that. If anybody here has been on StrangerhoodTV.com, which is our YouTube page, to see any of the Bacon is My Podcast episodes, or jumped over and checked out any of the Will It Sound Good acoustics, I was doing those for a while, and you'll see the Michael Kelly acoustic that I use quite a bit. That made its way onto those videos quite a bit of times. Between that and like my Yamaha, like kind of going back and forth with those. It's a beautiful guitar, really nice acoustics.
Really nice. Yeah,
I
it's
still
got
play it all the time.
The hole up at top.
Sound hole up on top, which is projecting at me, which is amazing because it's so great to hear it.
I saw there was a Gibson, some of the newer Gibson model acoustics are doing that too with the side hole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was for even. I was just like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
When I first checked out the guitar, I was like, why is it up here? And then I played and I was like, oh, that's why it's up there. Because I can hear everything really clear.
Yeah.
Even when you're playing like riffy things up on the higher strings with an acoustic, like I'm hearing it so well from there. And it sounds great plugged in. So
Yeah. But
we recently saw they just released one of the things about Michael Kelly guitars is their finishes are pretty extravagant. Like you could see the bass that we just had, and a lot of their guitars kind of follow suit with that. It's a lot of those kind of like
nice woods,
really nice woods. Those like the almost the like those see-through finishes with a lot of like the matched the matched tops, stuff like that, which really just honestly isn't my style
right?
At all. For me, guitars to me like I have one guitar that's like green, and I have it because I played it at NAMM and I really liked how it played, and I found the same exact guitar a month later on Reverb that was at NAMM, and I got to buy the one that I had in my hands. So that's why I have that guitar. But really, my guitars have always been like black, white, or wood.
Yeah.
Right? I have a Sunburst now that I played. If I play something and I love how it feels, I don't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But I've never been one for the really flashy finishes. I've always liked matte black things. And I love Telly style bodies, Les Paul style bodies, and Michael Kelly just came out with this.
The hybrid.
Which is, Telly style body.
Matte finish, black.
Maple neck. Is that an ebony?
Yeah.
Yeah, ebony fretboard. It's got a Fishman in it.
So it's got the Fishman Piazzo? Pezio,
I believe.
The pickup is basically an acoustic pickup. So you could play what sounds like an acoustic guitar here on this. You can also blend it, though, which is really cool.
Yeah, we've got 2 humbuckers. Each one can be split. So you can do a single
Push
coil.
pulls.
You can do the blend of the Fishman with either humbucker, both humbuckers, one of them tapped, the other one not tapped, both of them tapped. Like, there's so many sonic
and then
kind of things
when
you can do with this guitar.
When you blend it, they actually have a knob to blend the volumes. So whatever electric configuration you set up the electric configuration. If you want that to also play with the acoustic pickup, you can blend how loud you want the acoustic pickup to be versus the electric pickup. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
string through body, which I think is really cool.
It's really the most versatile guitar that I've ever played. And you know, I've kicked it around a few times and ran it through all of my settings, and it's like, this does everything.
I was going to say, all the nerd shit aside, when you strum it, you feel it vibrate in your chest when it's unplugged. You feel it vibrate in your hands when it's unplugged. It's resonant.
It does have a little bit of weight.
Really well.
It's
heavy.
It's a little heavier than what I'm used to. I like the, you know, I'm usually the light ass PRS one piece body, but this is, I mean, the sound and the playability of it can't go wrong.
Yeah,
and they were nice enough to give
to let us. Well, they let us borrow it.
Yeah,
they let us borrow
to
it,
record this record.
Good luck getting that back.
I'm probably gonna keep it.
Surprise!
I want one.
It's a Jimmy guitar, man. It's heavy. It's matte black. It does all the sounds that I do.
It does all the sounds that everybody does,
but not everybody does them all at the same time.
You're right. You know what? You're right.
Right? Like if I could draw up a guitar, if someone was like, "What's a guitar for you?" half my brain goes to like Les Paul P90s.
Right.
You know, because I want that sound. I want that fat single coil sound. I can get that. I also play clean stuff. I play acoustic stuff. I play, you know, like I'm in a band that is Green Day and Foo Fighters and Cheap Trick. I need all those sounds.
I like to be able to have the versatility of having that double coil telly sound, you know, and also the single coil too. You can kind of go back and forth. It's like kind of like a Swiss Army knife, that guitar.
It legitimately is, dude. It's great.
I'm really looking forward to tracking with it and kind of playing with it and seeing what's up. Because I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm of the mindset that if you have like a Les Paul and like a telly, you can get done just about anything.
Everything, right? Those were the two guitars I always had in my mind. That like, okay, I need the three guitars I need in my life. I need a Les Paul, a telly, and an acoustic.
Yep.
And that's it.
And because a Strat is a great thing, but it's very specific though. Fender Strat, like it's got a sound. You know, it's like
sure.
You think Jimi Hendrix or Clapton or fucking John Mayer or something.
Right.
You know, guys who like are big champions of that instrument. But it's very specific, and it's like, but sometimes you need, I need a Strat here or something. But like it can get like very one way with that. You know, like kind of like, okay, you don't have a lot of options sometimes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you Frankenstein them like I do.
Unless you Frankenstein them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Because I happen to love Strats. I know Jimmy's not really a Strat guy.
Well, I tell you what, my Music Man is closer to a Strat sound than it is anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not into the Strat body style.
Yeah.
That's really it. I love the tone.
Yeah.
They're playable.
My Strat has a double coil in the bridge, actually.
Oh, nice.
And the two single coils, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I have quite a few Strats. Quite a few of them are built. I built them.
Your Tobacco Burst Strat is pretty sick.
That is that's just a regular blacktop, but I modified it so it's split coil. Mm-hmm. So it's a 5-way switch on 2 humbuckers.
Yeah, that's got a pretty.
And I block the bridge.
I've played that one.
I love that one.
It's really nice.
It's one of my go-tos for sure.
Okay.
But I also decided, because I fell in love with the PRS baritone, I built a Strat baritone, and threw a PRS pickup in it, and it sounds like a PRS.
I like your silver Jaguar because I had one and I miss it.
Yeah.
I traded it for work to be done on my van.
Yeah, I remember that.
I needed ball joints on my van, and I couldn't pay for them. And I was like, I have this guitar. And they were like, yes, and some money.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I miss it.
But Dave, the blacktop Strat pickup, the bridge pickup, I love that pickup. I love it so much. Yeah, you can. So I used to kind of like, I was a build junkie for a while, and I would actually go out and I found out what the manufacturer was and all that stuff, because the blacktops are not an American made.
Right.
So I found out the manufacturer and stuff like that, and I started buying them. And you could buy the pickups for like $25.
Oh.
The blacktop ones. Yeah, so I used to have them. I threw them in a whole bunch of guitars because I just love the sound of them.
Yeah, they're nice.
I actually have it. It's in both the Jag and the Sunburst.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this is how we nerd out. But yeah, we'll be using the Michael Kelly
yes,
guitars.
Sorry. We do digress. Michael Kelly guitars, and yeah, they're great. It's great.
Definitely go check them out. Check out the site. And we're going to have Steve Pisani on the show soon. He had to deal with NAMM.
Yeah, I feel like everybody had to deal with NAMM, except for us.
Right.
Oh, they're doing NAMM now? Wasn't that a January?
It was, no, it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Well, yeah, they used to do it in January, but they bumped it. Was it last year they changed it?
Last year they changed it, because they were just doing one instead of two. Instead of doing January and then a summer one,
then July.
They were just doing one kind of in between the two.
Okay. I've never done NAMM. I'm too cheap to go fly out to California.
I did hear that. Yeah. I heard that the Nashville NAMM in July was good too. It was less of a spectacle.
Yeah.
And more of a get to business kind of stuff.
I was at NAMM twice. I had a great time both times. I made a lot of contacts. I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
that's what it was for. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it was. It was cool. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I had a good time there. I would go again. I hung out with Steve at the Michael Kelly booth.
Oh, okay.
For a lot of it. Yeah, so it was a good time. Pre-COVID.
Yeah. My favorite part of your NAMM experience was the video I got when you were on the flight home from NAMM.
Oh.
And it was Frank sleeping on the JetBlue TV controllers, which were Jimmy's.
Arm went down on my controllers, so my screen just
kept flipping.
And I was like, I'll kill you.
And the video that Jimmy sent me of Frank sleeping in the chair, and then to his face, and then to the flickering TV.
Yeah.
One of the greatest moments in comedy ever.
It was good.
He was literally trying to do the Etch-a-Sketch thing like that, right?
It was amazing.
Etch-a-Sketching your TV screen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saved that video and gave it to him too. I was like, this was my flight home.
Of course you did.
I'm so glad you came.
Of course you did.
Thanks for coming. We had a good time. We had a good time at him. And we hung out with Steve. We hung out with Steve and Randy Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve and Randy Jackson was at
Randy Jackson from American Idol, or Randy Jackson
from Zebra. From Zebra. He's a Michael Kelly artist. So we were at the Michael Kelly booth, kind of hanging out and trying the guitars and playing the guitars, and
That first Zebra record's really good.
Yeah, tell me what you want, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was like, when you think about when that came out, they were flying that like Zeppelin flag kind of in the early 80s, it was kind of cool,
That's Randy Jackson's a cool dude too, man. Like we did Craving Strange did a couple of shows. We did a show with Zebra and we did a couple of shows with him. But then randomly on the Jimmy's Blue Notebook kind of round of shows, I did a show on a boat with Randy Jackson. It was just the two of us playing acoustics on this booze cruise.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, it was cool because we were both on a boat and we were both the only people playing, so we just kind of hung out the whole time. But it was just, it was a cool time. It was fun. We had, that's the first time that our buddies in the band Sweet Tooth ever saw me, and they just made fun of me the whole time.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that story.
And then we played with them like months and months and months later, and they were like, "Oh my God, that's that guy." That's that idiot from the boat.
Oh man, I remember that story. That's such a good story. All right. Well, I think we've got our business done here. So we're gonna let everybody go.
Yeah, we'll let everybody on Twitch go.
Please
stay home.
make sure. Yeah, stay home.
Yeah.
Please make sure you join us next week where we'll do something else. I don't know what it is exactly yet.
We'll figure it out. If you're still on this journey with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dave, thank you for joining us yet
also,
again.
FYI, St. Louis Cardinals plays ukulele and is trying to get into songwriting. So I hope you're getting something out of this because this has been kind of a little tour through at least the recording and songwriting, production and songwriting process.
Yeah.
It's going to get into the recording process and stuff too. As songwriters, this is a really big part of it, and this is cool. So hopefully you got something out of it or picked up some knowledge that Dave has dropped or found a road not to go down that Mike and I have talked about doing.
Yeah. And if you did miss, because this is number 3 with Dave.
Yeah.
If anybody missed what happened in the past, we actually have episode 1 with Dave and episode 2 with Dave over at strangerhoodtv.com and on the Bacon's My podcast feed.
Yeah, you can hear where these songs started and then kind of check out where they are now as well.
Yeah. So, Dave, thank you again for joining us. Everybody in Twitch world, thank you again for joining us. And
if you're in a band or you're a songwriter, or you're working on putting out a record, and you want to hire an incredible producer, an incredible engineer, just an incredible other band member that'll help you get through these songs. You see what he's helping us with, and if you like my band or Mike's band, and you've heard stuff that he's had a hand in. Check out Mr. David Caggiano. Where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you?
This is where I'm very
you hate this part. I know you hate
this is the part.
It's exactly why he's doing it too.
No,
you know that.
No, I think you can do. If you go to facebook.com/Betamax Artist Development, that's all one word. If you do that, I know that's weird, but if that's all Betamax, like the old VCR thing, Betamax Artist Development, all one word after /facebook.com, you can get a link to my Spotify playlist, which has stuff I produced on.
Nice. And
featuring both of you guys.
Yeah. Whoop whoop. And I think part of my job these days is trying to bring Dave more work. I do that as much.
That's worked. I mean, I got to tell you.
I do it as much as I can. So get a hold of me through baconsmypodcast.com. You can send us a message or send us something on one of our socials, and
I'm internet challenged.
I'll hook you up with them too. I'll be a middleman.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I have no problem with it.
Jimmy knows how to send the carrier pigeon.
I do. I'm an expert carrier pigeon sender.
Well, he's been there so many times.
I have.
The pigeon, I'm saying.
The pigeon has also, yes.
So, so check out Jimmy's band, Craving Strange.
CravingStrange.net. Check out Mike's band, Something Heavy.
New single coming out tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. For real tomorrow, because we're live.
Yeah,
That's
we
great.
are live.
Nice.
So, yeah. And we're working on some stuff. We're working on some stuff where we're going to work with Dave.
Yeah.
On some stuff.
Nice.
Yes.
Me, my own self, Mike, on all the socials.
Jimmy G Shoes.
On all the socials. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for being Twitchers. We appreciate it. Thanks for twitching with us. And we'll see you guys next week. Later.
What's your bacon?
What's your goddamn bacon?